F-35, when it comes to hovering on the boat, like I know the Harrier utilized water to cool. Is there a certain time limit you have to get on the boat where he's like either like, hey, you got to cool down, or are you using water? How does that work? I've never talked to a B model guy.
So I'll preface this by saying that this is where some of the key benefits of the F-35B actually like completely come into play. I have tons of Harrier guys, and listening to some of their stories, I mean, it could be a harrowing experience bringing back a Harrier with bombs to a ship at night. Like, when they land on a ship, their stick is still the same stick. Their throttle is still the same throttle. They're controlling their nozzles, right? Like, they are moving a lot of things directly as the pilot in order to land. And you're right that they have the water tank on board in case they need more performance out of their engine. They can burn their water, but they are mentally having to remember and transition how they're controlling the airplane, but it is still flying a lot like an airplane. The F-35B, we have, and all aircraft have control laws. I don't know to what extent everyone talks about them, but we talk about our clause for control laws a lot. And our jet, as best it can, tries to seamlessly integrate the various claws into one another so that as you as the pilot, as you've made a few selections on your switches, you are now entering a different claw. So you have to understand how your controls have changed at that point. But it's all happening transparent to us relatively.
Right.
So like lowering the landing gear, powered approach claw. Now we have auto throttle available to us. If you put out your AR probe for aero refueling, because naturally as a naval fighter, we have a refueling probe and we do probe and drogue ops. You enter the refueling claw and your speed brake has changed. And we have a virtual speed brake. We don't have a real one. So
right.
Yeah, like our control surfaces will deflect to give us the sensation and the performance of a speed brake, but there's no dedicated piece of metal that comes up into the airstream like other aircraft. So all that's happening in the background. All to lead into when we convert into stoveville. So we hit the button that in the A is their hook button, in the C is their hook button. For us, it commands the jet to enter stoveville or to exit stoveville. When we do that, initially, we have an envelope in which we can convert in and out. But when we go from normal CTOL mode to stoveville mode, at first, the claw is transparent. I mean, up and down, still up and down, left and right, forward, like you're still controlling your speed with your throttle. That's relatively normal, and it still flies basically like an airplane, like very little difference. As you slow down, you'll go from semi-jetborne. So jetborne meaning the weight of the aircraft is being carried by the thrust coming out of the aircraft directly. As you slow down, less airflow over the wings, less lift created by the wings to eventually, in a hover, right, we're at the full opposite end of the spectrum where you're jetborne only. As you transition through what we call the blend, where the preponderance of lift goes from the wings to the actual engine system of the jet, the claw transitions. And we've been coming in like an airplane. We've been slowing down. Cool. We go through the blend. Now we're either flying very slow or preparing to hover. You're sticking your throttle transition completely. So now, the way I like to describe it to folks is like a claw machine, because I think that somewhat makes the most sense. Our stick now commands up and down, and it's just height control. You'll go up and down. Left and right still work, and that's using a mixture of our lift fan in the front, the nozzle that's swiveling in the back, as well as our roll posts located at our wing roots. They're all working in tandem for you to go left to right. But your throttle, if you are in translational rate control, another mode we have, the jet, I know. The jet is now smart enough to where you slow down, you're approaching the hover, you engage TRC, and now the jet is automatically correcting for winds, and it will stop you at a singular point over the ground and hold that. If you hold nothing, you will hover directly over that point in space at whatever ground speed you've commanded. So your left hand moves to a detent, and we call it a ramp. And then from there, if I go forward with my left hand, I will move forward until I stop. I let go, and I just stop. I just move feet at a time.
Wait,
that's it.
The throttle fore aft?
Correct. Throttle fore aft moves the jet fore aft, but it's not necessarily a speed control. It's more of a like forward aft position control at that point. And so where I
Okay.
talk about it being a claw machine is that if a Harrier wanted to climb, they're going to introduce more throttle, more output from their engine. They will climb. We pull our stick up, tells the jet I want to go up. So it's actually very intuitive once you've practiced with it a little bit, but it's very much different than just a normal jet flying. But the beauty of it is that point. If a Harrier guy's if he's in a hover, he's working. I mean, he's working his ass off. He's adjusting to the winds. They have a wind vane on the nose of their aircraft, right? Like, he's adjusting for all that. The jet is perfectly dealing with the winds for me. I'm just choosing where I want to be in a space over the ground, and the jet is completely stable holding itself there, which is off the bat like an engineering marvel. Like, that is
Yeah, the
ridiculous.
science and math that went into that is insanity to come up with that. I mean, it's wild.